Hello, YouTube. You keep reliving your past because you choose not to let it go. You keep repeating these certain patterns. You keep meeting the same person over and over and over again because you want to. Because you don't want to let go of something that's holding you back in your past. For example, I used to be severely depressed, and the thing with that experience was I chose to stay depressed. I chose to stay sad because I liked the comfort that sadness brought me because it was something I was familiar with. And I didn't want to change because a part of me didn't want to be happy. I didn't want to let go of the sadness. I wanted to be sad. I wanted to be depressed because I was familiar with it. And that's the hardest part about breaking cycles and creating a new future for yourself, because in order to do that, you have to fully let go of the past. And to fully let go of the past, you have to want to. And that can be really tough because the solution isn't to just watch self-improvement videos and hate yourself into being better. The solution is you have to really sit with yourself and let yourself feel all the emotions that you didn't have the chance to feel when you were going through certain trauma or certain life events. Because there's a reason you're sad. There's a reason you're still meeting the same person over and over again. Because there's something in them that you are familiar with. And in order to break that familiarity, the comfort that you get from that familiarity, is first you have to feel the emotions of the thing in your past that's tying you to that comfort. Because everyone has something in their past that is tying them to their comfort. Either, like, for example, when I was depressed, my entire past, I was used to feeling sad. I was used to being depressed. So it was so easy for me to want to stay depressed because that was what I was used to. I liked the feeling. Because that's what kept me connected to my past. That's what kept me from moving on. So when you keep meeting the same person over and over again, and you think, what's wrong with me? Why does this keep happening? Think about the thing in your past think of the very moment in your past where that started happening for you. Or let's say your dad was abusive and you're familiar with that abuse. So now every partner you meet is abusive because of that. You have to look back on your life. You have to study your past, because your past, I know people, everyone says you have to focus on the present moment. That's very true. You should totally be in the present moment, but there comes a time when you have to look at your past. Because when you don't know the answer to something, you don't know why you keep living through the same experience over and over again, you have to look at your past. You have to see, when did this first begin? When did this tree get planted? When did this belief that my partner should be abusive because my dad was abusive and that's what I was used to? That's what I'm used to. So I don't know any better than that. I don't know how to treat myself. I don't know how to treat others in a dynamic that isn't one where the other person is abusive towards me because of my father in the past, let's just say. you have to look back on, because there's so much knowledge, so much information in your past that with time you go through experiences, you go through these cycles, you go through these patterns in order to heal from them, to get out of them. You keep going through the same thing because the whole purpose is to get out. The whole purpose is to break the cycle. And the universe tries to get you out of the cycle by giving you the same person over and over again until you finally look at your past and see, wait a minute, okay, so my father was abusive, but that doesn't mean I have to keep being with abusive people. And once you look at your past and... Sorry, someone's distracting me right now. My words. This is so good. Okay. Women at night. Okay, anyways. So, what was I saying? I lost my train of thought. So the purpose behind these cycles is to get out of them. You're supposed to learn something from them. With every life cycle, you keep meeting the same person over and over again. You keep going through the same thing over and over again because there's something you're not seeing. And that something could be from your past. It could be produced from your past. It could be... basically all these cycles, they show you what you need to heal. They show you, they're like little stepping stones. They're like taking off the blindfold when you are trying to better yourself. Once you go through these cycles, you'll understand the things in common between each person you meet, each situation you go through that's the same. And slowly you'll begin to be able to tie it back to something in your past. And you'll get better at it the more you do it. And it gets easier the more you do it. But I remember I would meet the same guy over and over again. And it wasn't obvious. It took a lot of introspection and reflection to do that. Because I thought something was wrong with me. Because I kept attracting these guys that would kind of act similar, and then I started to notice what made them similar. And this took time. This took a lot of reflection. And through some time, I realized that the thing that they had in common was the fact that they gave me something that my dad gave me when I was younger. The fact that they gave me something that I loved in my childhood. So now I was acting in a way that would, just me existing would automatically attract guys that would have that character trait or would have that personality trait that I in my past, because I would react a certain way that would attract that. And then once you realize, it's like a big spinning loop, because it starts with the fact that you realize you're aware that you are in a cycle, that you keep going through the same thing over and over again. And once you realize that you're in a cycle, you start to piece together, okay, what's similar about all these things? And then you find the thing in your past that connects it all. And then you realize what about your present self is causing you to attract what is happening to you because of what your past did to you. And then you're on your way to breaking a cycle. Like when I was severely depressed, sorry, I keep bringing this up, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. When I was severely depressed, I didn't want to be happy. I consciously said to myself, I don't want to be happy. I still want to be sad. I feel comfort in sadness. So what I had to do was I had to let go of all the pain. I had to cry until I had no tears left to cry, until I was so sick of feeling like this. I was so sick of doing this to myself that now I wanted to be happy. I wanted to be happy. And because I wanted to be happy, I became happy. Because once you heal from your past, you cry as much as you can cry, you journal as much as you can journal. What else is there that connects you to your past if you've done all that? You've cried as much as you could possibly cry over that. You've reflected on it. You've cried about how it made you feel. You've journaled about how it made you feel. You've ranted. And then there's nothing left. And then you choose to be happy. Then you choose your way out of a situation, out of a cycle, because the choice, the desire for you to stay no longer exists. You have no reason to stay. There's nothing for you in your past anymore because you have released everything that you can release that connects you to your past. And then you break out of a cycle. Sorry, I don't I make it sound a little simpler and my words are kind of, but I'm gonna get better at this once I start filming more YouTube videos. I'll probably redo this in a couple months, hopefully. But I hope you enjoyed. This is how you break a cycle. This is how you become aware that you're in a cycle. And how to get your past to stop hurting you, because your past is a tool. Because your past is what keeps you from being in the present. So in order to be in the present, you have to fully let go of your past. And in order to fully let go of your past, you have to be reflective. You have to look back at the past. You have to focus on the past in order to let go of the past, because there's something you're choosing not to feel in your past that's causing you to stay stuck in the past. So in order to let go of the past, you have to marinate in the past for a little bit. And a little bit can be entirely up to you. A little bit can be a couple weeks, a couple months. For me, it could even be a couple years, depending on the severity of what you've gone through, depending on how much you have to let go, because if you're older, you definitely have a lot more to let go than someone that's younger. And with that will help you be in the present moment and will help you know yourself, because then you're acting in a place of authenticity because you're choosing to be present and your mind isn't wandering off elsewhere thinking about other things. When certain things happen to you, when situations come at your doorstep, you're there. You're fully there, so you are able to be conscious and to make decisions that cause you to not have to go through cycles all over again. That concludes my YouTube video, nightly car talk. I'm probably gonna have to change the location because I got a little too distracted, if you couldn't tell. But yeah, I don't know if what I said even made sense, but I hope you liked it. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. I will do my best to make more YouTube videos and be more eloquent